Have you ever wondered how some players get unlimited health or infinite money in video games? Well, they use a cheat engine. A cheat engine is a program that lets you modify a game's memory while it's running. It allows you to change values in the game, like your health, money, or ammo, by editing how the game stores that information in your computer's memory. Some people use cheat engines for fun in single-player games, while others use them in online multiplayer, which is usually against the rules and can get you banned. Every game has to store important data somewhere. Things like your character's health, inventory, or level progress. This data is stored in the computer's RAM, random access memory, while the game is running, and each piece of data is assigned a memory address. Think of it like a giant spreadsheet filled with numbers. Each number represents something in the game, like the number 100 might represent the player's health, number 9999 the amount of money, or the number 30, which is the bullets in a magazine. The game constantly updates these values. If you take damage, your health variable might go from 100 to, let's say, 80. If you pick up ammo, your bullets might increase from 30 to 60. But here's the trick. Cheat engines let you find these values and change them manually. The cheat engine looks through the game's memory for a specific value, like your health or money. If your character has 100 health, the cheat engine searches for all places in the memory where the number 100 is stored. The second step they do is filter the results. If there are too many results, you change the value in-game. Let's say you take damage and your health drops to 80. Now you can scan again, filtering out the unrelated numbers. Another example is you have 60 ammo in your magazine, but then you shoot one bullet and now you have 59. You tell the cheat engine to scan again for the number 59, and that's how it filters. Next step is modifying the value. Once you find the correct memory address, you can change it manually. You can change your health to, let's say, 10,000, or set your money in-game to 1 million, or even freeze the value completely so it never changes. Some cheat engines use pointers. Some games move data around dynamically so the address changes every time you restart the game. Cheat engines can track these pointers, which help find the right value every time. One of the most well-known cheat engines is literally called Cheat Engine, which you can download in your Mac or Windows. Other famous cheat engines are called BitSlicer or ScanMem. These tools have been used by gamers, speedrunners, and even game developers testing their own games. Are cheat engines illegal? Well, you might be wondering, are cheat engines gonna get me in trouble? The answer depends on how they're used. In single-player games, it's not technically legal. In multiplayer online games, almost always is against the rules and can get you permanently banned. But generally, you're not gonna get in any serious trouble if you just use it for a local single-player game. Now that you know what are cheat engines and how they work, let's have some fun. We'll experiment with a couple of games so you can have a demonstration of how they're used. In our case, we're gonna use BitSlicer on macOS. So let's get started. Okay, so before we start with the demonstration, I know some of you are gonna run into issues and problems while using BitSlicer on macOS. But don't worry, on the screen right now, you'll see a timestamp where you can skip to the troubleshooting section and fix any problems or issues you might have while using BitSlicer. Okay, so first we're gonna open up our video game. In this example, I'm gonna use Luanti. And now we're in our video game. Let's pause it for a second and put it on the side. And let's open BitSlicer. Alright, now we have BitSlicer open. Let's go over the basics. I won't be going into too much detail about all the functions or features of BitSlicer. Today we're just gonna keep it very simple. Over here in the selection tool, you can see all of the software that are running right now on our computer. We're gonna choose Luanti, which is our game. And on the search bar right here, we can start searching and filtering for values. This is where you can scan for numbers like health, score, or anything else you want to change in the game. Let's say I want infinite dirt blocks. Let's pick a couple of them. And now you can see that in my inventory, we have 2 dirt blocks. So let's pause our game for a second. Now on our search bar, we're gonna type the number 2 to search for values where the number 2 is stored. So let's type 2. And now you can see all of the values that have the number 2 stored in them. But there's a big problem. It's showing more than 800,000 values. So how do we know which one is the one that we need? Well, don't worry, we're gonna filter it out. So let's go back to our game, and we're gonna have to change the value manually. Let's gonna pick another dirt block, And now you can see that we have 3 dirt blocks. Let's go back to bit slicer and we're gonna type number 3 so we can rescan again. And now you're gonna see that we have 28 values, which is a lot better than 800,000. But it's still a little bit too much. So let's rescan again. Let's go back to our game, change the value manually. Now we have 4 dirt blocks. Go back to bit slicer, rescan for the number 4. But let's just rescan again just to be safe. Now we have 5 dirt blocks. Rescan for number 5. And now we can see that we have only 1 value. Now we know which value it is. So let's right click, edit variable value. And let's say I want to change it to 999. Press enter. And now you can see it still shows as number 5. But when we start placing some blocks, it now shows as 998. And here you can see that on bit slicer, it changes too. We can change this value to any number we want. We can just get 1 value, or we can get, for example, 10,000. Let's go back to our game. And now we have 999,000 blocks. Perfect, now you know how to search, filter out, and change values with bit slicer. Let's go into our other game example. Now in this game, we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna go to bit slicer, and you can see that we only have 7 torches, but I want even more. So let's type 7 to scan. And you can see that there are way too many, so let's get rid of 1. Now we have 6. We're gonna rescan. And now we have only 6. Let's rescan once more time. And now you can see that we only have 2 values. So let's try this one right here. Let's change it from 5 to, let's say, 999. And perfect, we now have 999 torches. But let's say you don't want this value to change. You want to keep the same exact value forever. Now we can do something interesting, which is called freeze value. We're gonna go to bit slicer and we're gonna right click and we're gonna press freeze variable. What this basically is gonna do is gonna freeze the value to that number forever. So no matter how much we use it in game, the item count will never change. So here you can see that I have 998, but no matter how much of them I use, I'm gonna keep the exact same torches count, which is very cool. Let's unfreeze it. And now you can see that the item count goes back down again. Now let's try something different. Let's try with our health, for example. Here in Terraria you see that I have 100 health. So let's scan for the number 100, go back in game, and let's take some damage. And now we have 6 health. Let's pause the game for a second. Press the number 6. And now you can see that we have only 2 values, so let's change our health value. Let's pick this one right here, and let's say put 100 again. And as you can see, now we have 100 health again in Terraria. And you can freeze this variable too. So press right click, freeze variable, and now you can see that our health will never change. So we're basically immortal right now. Now we can go explore our Terraria world without any danger of losing our life. If you're having trouble using bit slicer because it doesn't have the proper permissions to do what it has to do, you must make sure to set up these 3 settings. First, we're gonna go to System Settings on macOS and we'll go to Privacy and Security. In Privacy and Security, we're gonna give bit slicer full disk access, just like this, and on App Management we're also gonna give it access. If bit slicer is still giving you some trouble, it may be because System Integrity Protection is turned on. SIP, or System Integrity Protection, is a security feature in macOS that protects your Mac from malicious software. It prevents unauthorized code from running and protects system files and directories. This doesn't mean that bit slicer is a malicious software, but macOS won't let bit slicer do some stuff that it needs to do. I'll leave a link in the description on how to disable System Integrity Protection temporarily, but basically what you'll have to do is to restart your computer in recovery mode. Then you'll launch the terminal from the Utilities menu and then run the command csutil disable. And then you'll restart your computer. You can follow these exact same steps to re-enable System Integrity Protection. Or instead of csRoutil disable, you're gonna type csRoutil enable. Alright, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully this helped you understand the basics of cheat engines and hopefully you learned something new. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you found this video very useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you next time.